So, in defense of not banning automatic and semi-automatic rifles in America, I see it as a situation that really needs to take a different route in terms of reducing the number of gun-related deaths in the country, rather than just simply banning them. And the reason I'm saying that is because a ban will most likely not reduce the rate of gun violence to any significant degree, while possibly increasing the number of guns possessed by citizens in America. And that's something I will get to later. But first, I think one of the biggest flaws about a ban of these types of guns is that it would really reduce the ability of people to defend themselves. And I know it's said a lot about how other weapons like pistols and handguns in general can still be used as a means of self-defense, but there will still be those automatic and semi-automatic guns in circulation post-ban. This would really put owners of pistols at a real disadvantage against those illegal guns. And this is especially the case with certain people that have physical disadvantages, like senior citizens. And these people may struggle with handling a handgun because they tend to hold heavier bullets, and that would cause them to have greater amounts of recoil. And because of this disadvantage, I think a ban will only put marginalized groups, and especially people that live in areas of higher crime rates, at more risk of facing gun-related violence to these banned guns. And this is why the Second Amendment should not be changed at this point in America's history, because the need for self-defense will only rise after a ban will be implemented. And if anything, preventing these people that would be at risk from legally purchasing these types of guns will only increase their fears, which might cause an illegal rise in purchases from the secondary market. That would essentially punish people that are abiding by the law, who want to use these weapons for legitimate purposes. And in fact, gun ownership in America is viewed by many people as an important part of American culture and history. And that can be seen with activities like hunting and recreational shooting, those being popular activities in various parts of the country. And it can be said that owning these guns is an important part of many people's way of living life in general. And by criminalizing the possession of assault weapons, more arrests will likely be made that would cause capacity issues potentially in jails, despite these people only owning them for non-criminal purposes. And another big flaw about a ban is that the likelihood won't actually stop gun-related homicides. And that's because handguns still have the ability to be used to kill multiple people in a single crime or in a single sitting. And this can be shown with a couple examples. And first, I want to talk about the example from 2007 where a student from Virginia Tech went on a shooting spree that killed over 30 people on campus. And in this mass shooting, he was only using a 9mm Glock along with the .22 caliber pistol. But the biggest issue with this is that he had a duffel bag with extra magazines that helped him go on a full shooting spree for over 10 minutes. And another example I want to talk about that used handguns was the 1949 Walk of Death that happened in New Jersey, where a veteran went on over 12 minutes, I believe, killing 13 people in his neighborhood with only a pistol along with extra magazines. But this shooting and the Virginia Tech one go to show that the weapon type doesn't really do much to limit the number of deaths in a single shooting, and especially when the shooter deliberately selects certain areas that would likely not have any weapons present. And because of that, I think it's very important to place more emphasis on having armed defenders available in these areas that are able to intervene within a short time frame. And this has been implemented with official police procedures that require officers to engage with the shooters immediately, even if they don't have backup with them. Um, and another example that I wanted to touch on that shows how a ban would have little effect is the 1994 federal assault weapon ban. And this was a federal law that made it illegal to manufacture and also transfer and possess semi-automatic weapons that were specifically defined as assault weapons by the government. Um, but after the ban expired 10 years later in 2004, a lot of debate was being made about the impact that the ban had on gun violence in America. And this debate was really warranted because there is evidence from multiple studies that after this 10-year ban, um, there was indications of actually increases in gun sales in America. And this also includes guns that closely resemble the semi-automatic weapons that were banned by the law. And this could be largely attributed to the greater sense of urgency that was experienced by both gun owners and those that didn't have guns, who were just generally worried that they would no longer be able to legally purchase these types of guns that were banned. And this ended up leading to a rise in the secondary market for these firearms at the time, because certain types were no longer being manufactured, like I said, or even imported to America. And there's also evidence that the ban led to a rise in the production of modified versions of the banned semi-automatic rifles from the law. And it was common for manufacturers to modify certain guns to make them legal. And because of these modifications that were happening throughout America, a new market was created for these types of guns that functioned very similarly to the banned semi-automatic rifles. And that, again, it caused an increase in gun sales during the years that the ban was still in effect, and even after the ban was lifted. But overall, because of the little effect and potential backfiring of a ban, I really don't see this type of plan being very effective at reducing gun violence in America at this current point in time.